gag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give you a mild sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he's been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Yeah, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on, we are live. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live. Meaning our feet will be on the ground and our face will be to that floor. Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. All right, Lee, I'm getting ready to send you the link so you can come up. Also, there it is. Before we even get started, I'm going to drop this link. I just sent it right here, right now. So you see in the title, $50 gift card giveaway, 1 per household. You have to do a test drive. I will say it again. You have to be 18 years old. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Come on in.
Hello, how you doing? How everybody else doing?
Good. You have to be. I'm doing the $50 gift card explanation. I'm going to drop the link after I explain. You have to be 18 years or older. It's a test drive. You go out, you test drive a Hyundai, follow the directions. They're asking for your first name, last name, your email address, and then they will send you a coupon code that's set to expire by a certain timeline. They give you certain time to go out and test drive this Hyundai and get a $50 free gift card. Okay,
that sounds good.
That link. Yeah, I'm gonna drop that link right now. Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. Lee, you know I like free stuff.
Yeah, I do too. You must a lot of stuff.
Right, you know I'm a couponer. I see a bunch of people on here couponing, and it's the side note for the night because we gonna get real serious tonight. Okay. And I'm in the basement tonight where it's cool at tonight, okay? Where air at? I'm downstairs. And yes, okay. That's a gun holster. Yes, it's authentic leather. Yes, that belonged to my father, where he kept his gun at all times. I do not have the gun in there, however, but that's the holster. Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and drop this link.
Well, I said, that's cool, because she's searching for a car, too.
So go ahead and go to the link now. Go to the link now. If you see the link, I just dropped it. I'm going to drop it again. Go to the link now. Go to the link now. Don't wait. It's one per household. Go to the link now. You can multitask. You can stay on here. You can also hit that link. Go to the link now. Make sure you go ahead and put in your information now. Like I said, $50 coupon code. The bank is Bancorp. They are the ones that's sponsoring, not sponsoring, but giving the gift cards. Go to that link now. Make sure you sign up now. Go to the link now. I'll drop it again. So there it is, $50. Coupon code for test driving a vehicle, one per household. Okay, so make sure you go test drive your Hyundai or something of that brand. That's what the test drive is. No one is telling you to purchase a car. I am going to test drive the Hyundai because my friend does have one. And for the amount of snow and things that we get in Michigan, I don't think it did really good on the road when I was riding with her. But I want to drive it for myself. And it's kind of hot. It's hot here, so I won't be driving it in the weather that I really want to drive it in, but I'm gonna push that baby to the limit when I test drive. I'm gonna see how fast it can get up. I'm gonna be merging around corners kind of fast like a race car driver just to see what that baby can do. I'm gonna be doing them sudden stops with them brakes to see how clean and smooth it brake. So, hey Joy, Chit Chat, how you doing?
I got my code, boo.
Okay, you got your code. Good.
I got my code.
To the people in the bushes, welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. Yeah, you already know what it is. I'm gonna say this right here, right now. As a Black female in America, as a female in America, as a Black female in America, no one, for any reason at any time, has a right to disrespect me or females that look like me. And yes, I'm talking about disrespectful number 45. Okay. Maybe some people thought that was cute. It took some people a little long to come out and push back. And Lee, I hear the feedback from your stuff in your background, your TV in your background. I want people to know this. I don't care who you are, what you think you are, or who you think you are, or who did what and told you whatever. You don't get to disrespect people that look like me, that are female, or people that look like me. You don't get to disrespect. What number 45 said was very disrespectful. So
yes,
it was racist. And when I call him a fascist, that's exactly what I mean. But let me go here real quick. Okay. So he had the audacity to tell some Black females that they can leave if they were unhappy. They can go back to their own country. Just leave. You can leave. You can stay if you want to, but you can go back to your own country. They were born Americans. The Black females he were talking about, the Black ones, because it was other nationalities or mixed nationalities, 5 women. The Black ones, though, they were born American. So they can leave and go where? To do what? They can go where to do what? But let me go here real quick. See, because some people get confused and get caught up in the psychology, and you have Black Americans and other Americans, be it white, could be Hispanic, saying, oh, we don't want illegals over here. Wait just a doggone minute. So you have number 45 pushing that foolishness. And I'm going to call it what it is tonight. For the people that's watching in mainstream, you don't have to like it, but I'm going to tell it like a TIA is tonight. First of all, your grandparents, number 45, your grandparents lied to get over here in America. They were not American citizens. They lied to get in this country. That's number one. I'll say it again for the people that may be a little slow catching up. His grandparents lied to get over here in America. That's right. So go back and do your research and your history on that. They lied to get here. That's number one. Number two, we already know your father was a racist. He did not like black people. That's why he got sued in the 80s. And I remember, because my father made us pay attention to what was going on in the world in politics, for not renting houses out or housing, apartment housing to black people. Okay? But let me go here again. You questioned President Obama, and I'm going to call him a president, birth certificate. I haven't seen yours. Did you produce your birth certificate? Yeah, where yours at? And everybody knew that President Obama's father was from the continent of Africa. He was Kenyan. Now, let me say it for the slow people. See, that was the issue. That whole birtherism, that came from number 45, who grandparents lied to get here, who shouldn't have never been here because they were illegals. Now, how about that? He can be around a group of people that want to sugarcoat it if he wants to. Yes and amen, that foolishness. I will not. I refuse to. Furthermore, let me hit your wives tonight. None of them are American. Not a single wife you was married to was American or born Americano. They are foreigners. So why don't you send your ex-wives and your wife back to where they came from? They can kindly leave and go back to where they came from with your children. How about that? Yeah, welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. Now, did I say what I was going to say to number 45? Let me hit the brothers. The brothers that may be in the bushes watching. Okay, let me go here real quick. For the black men, and if this don't apply to you, this does not apply to you. But let me go real quick to this quote unquote what was deemed the Kanika Jenkins community, and let me go here real quick and fast tonight. For those males who are black and rich in melatonin, who set up years back and disrespected black females. See, this Carla is beautiful, did a live, and she did a good live discussing some issues on racism and using the N word, saying nigger when you're of another nationality, calling a black person or referring to a black person as a nigger, and you're not black and you're non-black. That will always be an issue, and I'll tell you why later. But let me go here real quick. For you black men who set up and want to call black females out of their name, you've been brainwashed. Somebody should have taught you a little bit better than that. And that's every last one of you. I don't care. If you set up and you call the female, a black female, out of their name, there's no way in the world you're going to respect any other nationality. However, it's a little bit interesting that a black female gave you birth and you had the audacity to want to sit up and call black females out of their name. Now, I've been waiting for a long time to say something about this because I have video footage of men calling me out of my name. You didn't know me. That's number one. You were lying That's number 2. You attempted to label me. That's number 3. And I meant exactly what I said, number 4. Everybody else can play about taking you to court, but I'm not going to play with that. That's why I brought attorneys on here, and attorneys will be coming back. And I do consult with attorneys, and I do be around judges for a reason. And if your simple behind want to get drug up in court and taught a lesson, guess what? I'm the teacher today. And the fact of the matter is I taught school for real. Now, that's another thing I want to address to the quote unquote men out there who think you conscious and you want to drag a black sister. You ain't conscious. You ain't nearby woke. And yes, you need to go make your face touch down on the continent of Africa, all parts, Ghana, Lagos, Nigeria, all of them, Zimbabwe. Make your face touch the ground. Disrespectful. That's what I want to say about that. In the name of quote unquote Kanika Jenkins that you quote unquote started off in. Miss me with that foolishness. That's why I don't even go here. Hey, Festy Taco, how are you? Long time no see, unless you just be in the bushes. So that's what I want to say on that. Okay, but let me go back real quick to this issue right here. Let me explain why it's not advantageous for people to use the word nigger when they're referring to a black person. Okay, and why it is very sensitive and a high alert word for me. Right. As I mentioned before, my father was born and raised on a plantation. My parents and grandparents, my grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents were slaves. Some of them were slaves. The ones that were Indians were not. And so we had Indians marrying some Africans. So the Africans could be considered free because the Indians were not considered slaves, even though they tried to enslave them. Okay, but let me go here real quick. You don't use that word, and I discussed this early on a few years ago, and I don't know if you were here in our live or not, Miss Letha, but it's a certain person who was in the JFK community, extremely condescending towards women, period, had no formal or college training. For the ones who say that they're showing you forensics, they're not. They've not been trained in any field or any arena or had any years worth of experience to show you anything about anything.
I remember that person.
Okay. Now, so there's no profession in any arena in that regard. All right. It's a reason I did not go and will not go down certain paths because I am a professional in that regard. So when you go back and you look at my videos, I'm very careful and I do know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that night, I called the person a fascist and shut that foolishness down. You don't get to rock and say what you want to say over here and you're a fascist and you don't like black people and you want to be condescending towards black women or women, period. You don't get to rock over here and say nothing. I don't want to see you in the chat. I will block you. You come back in the chat posing as somebody else, I will get you for harassment. Understand that. Now, welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. Nobody gonna put up with this disrespect. What's up, King Bit? Festy Taco, I'm gonna just link you the video. If you want to email me, KerenszHarris@gmail.com, I will link you to the video. I don't like to do a lot of name dropping over here. These people know exactly who I'm talking about. They know Festy. They know exactly who I'm talking about. They don't get to shine over here. Don't get to shine over here. Issues get to shine over here. So the reason why you don't call Black people nigger or Negroes or refer to them as such is because our ancestors were slaves who were beaten beyond recognition, who worked America and built America for 400 plus years for free, who were stripped from their families and their homes, who were raped and kids and husbands were sold off. So it's quite condescending, extremely insensitive when you call or refer to a Black person as a nigger. Another reason why is because Black people were considered partially human and rest animal years ago. Our ancestors were. So it would be advantageous if people would refrain from referring to Black people as such, especially non-Black people. It was a condescending word and annotation that goes with using that word. Period. I don't care who you are. And no, I'm not going to single out anybody because that goes for everybody across the board. Hispanic, Asian, white, whoever, whatever. Your ancestors never went through what mine went through. And by the way, I still have family members that are close to 100 years old who were slaves that are still living. Yes. So you don't get to disrespect them. You don't get to make fun or light of what they went through. Reparations. 40 acres in a mule, still waiting on it. King bitch, you say you from Alabama. Miss Lee from Alabama too. She up here. I'm not using big words.
Yeah, that's right.
King bitch, I'm not using big words. But, and I gotta play this clip. You see what it is tonight. Number 45 got it fired. Now, let's be honest. Let's be honest. How would you feel if your ancestors were tied to a tree and hung? How would you feel if you're non-white? How would you feel? How would you feel? How would you feel if your ancestors built a nation and worked 400 plus years for free? For free. Were forced in the militaries, fought wars, built homes, built America, built railroads, built the economy and everything else, and were considered stock or a commodity for free. And somebody looked up and disrespected them by calling them a peckerwood, paleface, honky, speck. Oh, I can keep it going. A Yankee Doodle Dandy Day. How would you feel? How would you feel if every time you looked up somebody was saying you white honky, you white cracker, honky, paleface cracker? How would you feel? How would you feel? How would you feel if your ancestors was out there in them cotton fields? How would you feel? How would you feel? And then you had a group of people being condescending and disrespecting them. Would that be okay with you? Knowing that the women were raped and the men were raped too. Let me tell the truth on this tonight. A demasculation of a man. How would you feel? Yeah. If the kids were raped too, stripped away from their homes, how would you feel? And that's why I'm not with this ICE stuff, and I refuse to be over here in the United States on Sunday when that mess was going on, because my ancestors were stripped away from their home. And for people trying to justify that, I don't care what nationality you are. It's inhumane, senseless, it's crazy, and it's downright unhuman. There is no civility or stability in stripping families away from each other. They did that with our ancestors, and we still as a group in its entirety need some psychological help behind all that mess that happened years ago to our ancestors. It's nothing just about that. Nothing at all. Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight. Yeah, I'm sure you did, King Bit. Let me go here real quick while we're at a teachable moment. Real quick, I got to get this in. See, when you don't learn from history, it repeats itself. And some people need a history lesson, and some people just need to be straight up, flat out placed for their disrespect. Newsflash, it seems as though a civil war against Black people is attempting to be raised all over again in America. I'm not with that. You won't get to come up in my home, take my child, take my mom, take my siblings or my brother or my nieces or my nephews. And when I say home, they have their own home. You won't get to do that and expect for me to stand by and do nothing and just sit back like, oh, say rah, say rah, say rah. Whatever will be, will be. No, we're not in that era no more. Everybody got guns. Everybody know how to shoot now, just about. Everybody can get a hold of a gun, legally or illegally. Okay? Everybody can get a hold of something now. Nobody's going back to the day of slavery. You can forget it. Nobody Black wants to go back to that day, except for a few brainwashed, psychologically programmed people. I'm not one of them. Right? Children in cages, Festi Taco. Not only children in cages, little kids dying on the floor, and people trying to figure out why the Dominican Republic Americans are showing up dead from the Dominican Republic. And excuse me, you got their kids over here too. You got their family members in them camps. You don't think they going an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, an arm for an arm, a leg for a leg? And I'm not trying to run a conspiracy theory, but to me, that looks like some retaliation. You took ours and we hitting you back. We gonna take one of yours. For every one that you took of ours, we're going to kill one of yours. Nobody's saying it's right or justifiable. But wake up. Some of y'all and I'm pushing. Let me go here real quick. I got, you know what? I just gotta. When I think about Eric Garner, by the way, I'm going to make sure that the state know exactly how I feel about their decisions. You see, you got an administration putting people in places to stack the deck against justice and on their behalf for big business and themselves. Okay? And that's the fact in the reality of the situation with no spin on it. I have to tell it the way it is. I don't have time to sugarcoat it. So you have police officers getting off who killed the man. We got the evidence of the video footage of that. We were able to see that and view that with our own eyes. Time and time again, We see it. We've seen it with Renaldo. We see it every time. We also saw it because it's coming up on the anniversary of Sandra Bland. We saw it again with Sandra Bland. She did not hang herself in a jail cell and commit suicide. Time and time again, we see Black people, rich and melatonin, and people of color, be they Mexican or whatever, as long as you got some color in your skin, being abused and killed by cops, police brutality, and they getting not even a smack on the hand. Where's the justice in that? And we say everybody in America have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. But we get police officers getting off for murdering people. And some of it moves over into premeditated murder because you had the opportunity and the time to think. And according to American law, if you're not in any imminent danger as a police officer, you are not allowed to kill anyone if you're not in any imminent danger. Time after time again, we see no guns in these people's hands. We see them not fighting. We see them posing no imminent threat, but we see them being murdered and killed and getting off time and time again. And then you have number 45, this fascist behind up in the White House spewing this foolishness against Black women, against other people. And people are okay with that. And they're supposed to be leaders. Leaders of what?
You got me just as quiet and listening.
But let me go here tonight because you know I'm going to do it. Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate. We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you? And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking it. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
Hi, I'm
Disclaimer. I didn't advocate for anyone to go burn anyone's house down. Malcolm X, who is deceased, said that based upon the era and the time that he was living in, where Black people homes were being burnt down, churches were being burned down. As a matter of fact, in Louisiana last year, we all know some church, what was this year, towards the beginning of this year, some churches, some Black churches were still burnt down. Okay, so what he said was this to the Black people, okay? And this goes for any other person too, if you're suicidal. Who taught you, especially people rich in melatonin in America, who taught you to hate yourself? Who taught you that? Where did that come from? Who gave you an inferiority complex? People like number 45 pushing that reverse psychology on you. Who taught you that? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? And understand this, I was born with straight hair, not curly hair, and my hair was straight until I got aged as a toddler, until I began to grow as a toddler, and then it turned into some curly locks, and then it got curlier. So we're born with all different types of hair as Black Americans and as Black people. You need to understand that. But who taught you? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? And to the teenagers who watch this, because like I said, I have teenagers who view this, you don't have to kill yourself and you don't have to take your life. You are beautiful, baby, in the skin and the color that you're in. You are. Regardless to what's going on in America's society, you're beautiful. You were created that way for a reason, for a purpose. Your life is valuable. But who taught that? Who taught the self-hatred? Who taught these Black men to call these females out of their names? A Black female out of their name when you came from a Black female. Who taught you that? Who told you that was acceptable? Who told you it was acceptable to address any female like that? Who told you that? Who taught you that? Who allowed that? Who? Who's allowing that? And why do you even feel the need to do that? So, considering myself a semi-safe platform, you will never see a male up here who disrespect women. I'm not having that. Not like that. Not like that. I'm all for men addressing issues, but it's a way to do everything. And to disrespect somebody that's in a similitude to your mother, who taught you that? It's not allowed over here. Now, you may have other women, and there's a lot of males on here who do it, rocking with you, but I'm not one. You don't get to disrespect me. Number 45, you don't get to disrespect women that look like me either. And tell Black women they need to go back to their own country. They can just leave. Why don't you go back to Germany? Why don't your wives go back to Russia? Why don't you all just leave? How about that? Welcome to the Lion's Den tonight.
They kill me thinking they 100% American. They really do. That really, really irks me. It does. I guess because it's taught. Who taught us to believe that stuff, Kerensz, is in school. The Mayflower and all the good and eating the turkey and the dressing and the cranberry sauce and stuff. But it really wasn't even about all that. It really wasn't. Because what I understand is that England cleaned out all of their prisons, their insane asylums, and put them people on the boat. And they came over here with Christopher Columbus, and they came over here in the engines and had this land. So all those people who was on the boat were murderers, crazy people, thieves, liars, adulterers, and everything else. That's my understanding now.
Yeah, they were, Miss Lee. Also, people need to understand that America Vespucci did not discover America. Christopher Columbus did not discover America. You cannot discover a place where people were already in habitat. This was their habitat. They were already residing here. He discovered nothing. Furthermore, he was not navigating the ship. An African was. I'll say it again. He was not navigating that ship. An African was.
And that makes sense too, Kerensz, because they don't do no work. We did all the work.
Now, it's his story, like my daddy told me, it's his story that he gonna tell, but not tell in full and not tell all, which my father would deem as a lie when he was living. He would say, no, they're telling half-truths, which is a lie, because they're leaving out our history. That's his story he's telling. But it's not history because it's not including everybody, and our story is not being told. History includes everybody's story, not just his story that he's telling. Now, so who taught us to hate ourselves? I don't hate myself. Where did that come from? Where did that come from for the people who hate themselves and trying to bend over and do all this? Where did that mess come from? Right, Fly, if you really want to get deep with it, if we really want to go there, first president, if we really want to go there from a perspective, we could go there too and proof that up. Right, Joyce. The favorite thing to say is go back to where you came from. When we were born America, it was very disrespectful for the women that he said that to that were born American. Very disrespectful. And people love to say, but they've not been over there to Africa. They just love to say, oh, the Africans were participating in a slave trade and they sold you all out. And we know it was some crooked Africans. Okay, we know some were, but all were not. They sold you all. Africans had slaves. Let me make this very clear. African slaves were indentured service. They paid off their debt. Once they paid off their debts, they were free. They were never tied to trees, hung to death. They were never beaten beyond recognition. They were all the stuff that America did. That was America doing that stuff. Nobody else who had indentured servants or what you call slaves did that. America did that mess. That was Americans. And people want to always cite. I saw some people in the White House coming out talking about our forefathers would have done. They're trying to quote from the forefathers. Excuse me. They had slaves. I'll say it again for the ones who were slow or who are in a state of denial. They had slaves. So don't quote nothing from them to me. I don't want to hear what they're talking about. You have my ancestors as a slave, and you think you get to say something to me? that's of any relevance? No, you don't. You had slaves. Quit playing. So we're expressing how we feel. We keeping it decent because we can use terms for them to understand exactly what we're talking about. George Shay, you said a delay. You had a delay in the question. She just asked, my bad. Right. Who taught us to hate ourselves? Who taught us to be self-hating Black Americans? Who taught us to have a crab mentality, to want to tear each other down? Who taught us that? Who taught us that it was not enough? Who taught us that it was not enough? Who taught us that we would lack? Who taught us that? Because over in Africa, it's still abundance. They have an abundance of resources. They have an abundance of crops. You drop anything over there in the soil of Africa and it grows. Okay, they have an abundance of resources, self-sufficiency over there in abundance. Who taught us? Okay, who taught us? Where did this teaching and this psychological mind game come from? Who taught that? Who taught that? Who taught us that? What I'm going to do right here, right now, for the people who just clicked on, if you missed the link, I'm going to drop it again. Pause for a minute and explain this. $50 gift card. They'll send you a coupon code for you to test drive a vehicle. It's one per household. One per household. $50. Must be 18 or older. You can go and test drive a vehicle. Okay? From participating Hyundai dealerships or people who sell Hyundais in their dealerships. There is the link again. Test drive. Must have a valid driver's license. Test drive that. Go sign up now, though. Go sign up now. Get your coupon code. They'll give you an expiration time when you can get there by. Go do that so you can get your $50 gift card for test driving a Hyundai. Okay. I am not sponsored by Hyundai or anyone. No money's over here coming from anyone. Okay. No Cash App, no PayPal, no Google Pay. No money's being paid to me over here from anyone. Right. So I'll drop the link again because it's in my title. For those of you who are just coming on to go, register yourself for that $50 gift card, test driving a vehicle, one per household. Okay. So make sure you put your email address in there. You can put your telephone number in there as well. They will send you a text message if you put your telephone number in there. They will send you an email if you put your email number, your email address in there. Okay? This is not a joke. Do that. Restrictions and descriptions are included in the link. Once they send you the information out, you'll be able to read and see. All right? So make sure you do that. But for people who are in Maryland, I must mention this. The lady mentioned it earlier. You don't have to test drive anything to get the $50 because your city does not support things like this, strong arming people into participating in things to get cash, prizes, gifts, or awards. That's not legal where you live at. So you can just go, if you're in Maryland, and take your little coupon code in there and get your little $50. Okay. So the rest of us who aren't, excuse me, don't have the laws like that, we'll have to do our little test drive. All right. So there it is again. Okay, King Bitch, you got yourself dancing in there. Hey, Soap Bone, how are you? Okay, how you doing? All right. So we're talking about racism. We're talking about I brought up the Eric Garner case, and it's something extremely inhumane and non-human about a man saying 11 times before they choked him out and killed him. And a judge ruling that police officer would not face any civil charges. That means you're not going to prison for premeditating and killing somebody. Okay, that was premeditated murder. He knew, though, once you're trained in any form of martial arts or wrestling or anything like that, certain moves can kill people. So at that point, he said 11 times. His last 11 words were 11 times back to back is, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. So you have him saying that 11 times, and then he end up dead. And the judge decides, who should not be a judge anywhere for anybody at any time for any reason. And I unapologetically said that, and I mean exactly what I say. That's why it matters who you vote on. Make sure you vote making a decision like that. So you have the fate of whether or not Eric Garner will get justice, as well as Sandra Bland and the rest of them. And like I said, her anniversary is coming up too. In the hand of a judge who decided, oh, well, really can't, oh, well, no, the police officer really didn't, no, he really didn't violate the law. No, well, really? So, well, how do you believe in a system ruling like that? You don't. You fight, and you continue to fight. Fight goes on. The fight die just because civil rights era got us more rights, or had them go back and rewrite us into their laws over here in America, does not mean that we stop fighting. It does not mean that the things that existed during slavery are not still going on, because they are. Police brutality against Black people are still going on. We see it over and over again. We see it. It did not stop. It didn't stop. It did not stop. But earlier, so Soup Bone, I was talking about Black men disrespecting Black women or women, and how that's not acceptable to me as a Black female, and shouldn't be acceptable to any Black male or male. That's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. And then you get number 45 in there, disrespecting Black women. Like in our faces, like disrespecting. Now, this next video clip I'm going to show, strong parental advisory, strong language will be used. Disclaimer, parental advisory, strong language will be used in this next clip I'm going to show while we're talking about 45 and other people disrespecting women in America, or Black people, or people, period. Disrespectful, but he disrespected some Black women. Disclaimer again, strong language will be used. This is my nephew who, disclaimer, I do not own the rights to the video footage I am showing. Disclaimer. However, I do have permissions and rights to show the portion of my nephew, Anubis, who is, actually my blood nephew, who participates in battle rap, which is supposed to be a sport, as he explained to me and the rest of the family, because we feel a certain way or type of way about it. I'm going to show a portion of him, and disclaimer, strong language is being used, battle rapping years ago against one of his friends, Snow. Snow is Hispanic. What happened was Snow talked about Rosa Parks in this battle rap, okay? Decided to say some stuff about Rosa Parks. And he and my nephew had made it through the first round, you know, whoever, however they flip head, this person go first, this person come on, whatever. Get to the second round, Snow begins to say some stuff about Rosa Parks. That's when my nephew went back to his training, his upbringing, and kind of left the battle rapping sphere and just went out on him disrespecting Rosa Parks, and also called my nephew that night. They're still cool to this day. He used the N-word, a nigger, okay? So you're going to hear how my nephew Anubis, his battle rapping name is Anubis, responded. Can we talk? Can we really talk tonight? You don't get to disrespect women. You don't get to disrespect or disregard Black people and the plight that our ancestors went through and the things that we still encounter because of this system over here in America and the way America was built and founded on. You don't just get to disrespect and disregard us and think that everybody's going to lay down and take it with a grain of salt and everybody is just going to get over it. No. Like I said, how would you feel if it happened to you and yours? Would you like it? Would you just get over it? Jews got their reparations. You didn't tell them to just get over it. They got paid out. Indians, quite natural, because this was their land, and I do have Indian in me too. They got some. Everybody seemed to be getting some payout for the things that they suffered. And let me make this real clear, because the Holocaust didn't happen over here. It didn't take place in America. That was over there in Germany. And people were fleeing here for refuge. And they got a payout. Our ancestors were brought here against their wills. No payout yet. 400 plus years of slavery. You don't get to just use the N word. You don't get to disrespect women, and you don't get to disrespect the Black male either. So, that being said, disclaimer again, strong language is being used. This is my nephew, who goes by the battle rapping name of Anubis, and battle rap, as he explained to me in a lengthy discussion, is supposed to be a sport. This was years back when he was battle rapping against one from his crew, the zoo faculty, Snow, who is Hispanic. Here we go. This was Snow, had disrespected Rosa Parks, had called my nephew a nigger, and, you know, that's when my nephew kind of veered from the battle rap, from my perspective, and gave a quick history lesson, as it was needed. Like I said, battle rap is supposed to be a sport. From time to time, I will go watch my nephew when he's battling, or watch certain people, but I don't fully comprehend what in the world be going on. You know, I understand what the concept is supposed to be, but I get too touchy and feely, and this is an event that I would not attend, because I just know I couldn't handle the stuff like they be saying that this was not this ain't for me, you know. But this is my nephew. We support him.
No, preparing for you, an epiphany hit me. You know, figuring out how to play the shit. Only way I see you defending against this round is to still call me the word after I say this shit. Now, Scheme Street, I need y'all to vibe with me for a quick second. See, I know y'all ain't come here for no history lesson, but this disrespect and needs some checking. Snow, you need to kill saying that nigga shit. Now, I felt sentiments, but he didn't get his intricacy. You growing up around our ignorance got you fooled, believing that shit's cool. Now, y'all might not rock with the approach like, oh, come on, man, it's Snow. That shit whack, but I can't call him a hillbilly, even the Hatfields and my clothes were black. My eyes see through that cool persona. The stink that hate covers you. Don't expect you to empathize what we dealt with. You never had to suffer through. If you were called a cup, cracker, red, that monkey every day back then, how would you feel? But I do you one better, Snow. Put you in them cotton fields. Long hours, few cents in pay. Every day he witnessed something gory. Work pay slowed up, we showed up. His back got them Denzel whips and glory. Hit your crib, we'll pick up some pits. For your tone of voice, we punish you. Pop shot, wife sold, and your daughter raped in front of you. We more than do you kind of bold. It's mind control, never mind your soul. Round up the rest of your family, train the strongest one is the finest soul. So I act like it don't matter. Well, you know, nothing of those who stood before me, but those who ignore me, because history only tells his story. Hold up. And the ones that black, they let them say this shit. Y'all wonder why we do this week 400 years after.
Bring it down. Go ahead. Hold on. Let these niggas quiet down first.
And the ones that's black, they let them say this shit. Y'all wonder why we view this week 400 years. Our family suffered. Easy for him to turn the other cheek. Now, think about 6 decades back when skin tone was how they wrote you. Great grandparents doing our simple chores was forced to say please and thank you. Had to keep that cool and smile, but in their minds was plans to shank you. Hands sore from scrubbing floors, laying back in pain with swollen ankles. Why do it now? This shit is wild. It's like our ancestors no longer have a voice. I was born with odds against me. Show you what? You actually have a choice. So why act it don't matter? Why act like it don't matter. So, how was what I'm saying senseless? When somebody, my cutter was killed, wearing a hoodie with some food, minding his own damn business. But oh, it's a sport, it's battle rap, right? Yeah. You cool for now when we in this bitch. You bet not call me a nigga outside this shit on reacting Genesis 6. Now, it's not a case of racism in me, but you saying that word something I don't believe in. But you know what, Snow? I am a nigga, non-immigrant, gang gathering, achiever. Don't die. Don't split.
Like I said, that's my nephew Anubis, firstborn grandchild, who participates in the sport battle rap, and that was years back when Snow. You can go back and view it in its entirety if you need to. They had the first round, and Snow talked about Rosa Parks, and he called my nephew a nigger. And when he disrespected Rosa Parks, I knew it was gonna go down. And when he called him a nigga, I knew it was gonna go down too, because like I said, as my nephew, he was raised, my father, he was raised up around us, and he got to experience the upbringing of his grandparents, in addition to his mom, in addition to being around us. Now, like I said, disclaimer, strong language was being used, but I was proud of him when he went into the history lesson mode. I said, there you go. That's it. That's our blood running through you right there. You do not, like I said, we were brought up not to let anybody, be it a president, be it a king, queen, whoever, whatever, disrespect us at any time for any reason. So it was very befitting in that moment for my nephew to go there, because he was not raised up to disrespect women. He was not raised up to disrespect his elders. And he could have really went there on his African lingo and just really zoned out on everybody, because he does go back and forth to Africa and participate in some of the teachings from there. And what they do is they teach you protect women, protect your elders at all times. If somebody that's taking a shot, you take the shot, you take the hits. But see, that's the way my daddy geared the men who were in this household anyway. First line of defense as a male is you. You don't let people attack women. No. So takes me back to number 45. Disrespectful. Extremely disrespectful. I could not have went into work and viewed him after tweeting and saying what he had just said about me or any other female, black female, or female period. I would have snapped, crackled, and popped right up in that White House. Okay? Cuff me up, do whatever you're going to do, but you're going to know you will never, ever, he would have never, ever fixed his lips to disrespect anybody else in that manner or fashion. Again, after I got finished saying what I would have said to him without using profanity. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alan, my nephew, Anubis, he is very conscious. He was raised up in a conscious household, and he was raised up by a black mama. And my sister didn't play that. That was my little baby coming up. Used to be trying to intercept all of his spankings and just in a way causing interference so he wouldn't get hit. Trying to stay over there for a long time, like pleading his case, and me and my sister was like, well, when you leave, I didn't do it while you were there. I will wait till you leave, and then I'll do whatever I was going to do. And I was thinking, man, I know I should have tarried over her house a couple of days or what. She was like, nah, I'll let you come over and do your little, but when you left, it was what it was. So I just want to remind people to be very conscious of what you're saying, not only just to Black people, but to people in general. Sometimes I don't care how thick a skin a person has. You need to watch what you say to people. You need to watch what you say to people. That's not cool. It's not cool. Some things just are not cool and kosher to say to other people. It's just not cool. Period. And some people can call it being hypersensitive or oversensitive. No. Ancestors beaten beyond recognition. Blood, the shedding of innocent blood, having millstones hung around their neck, thrown in the ocean. No, it's not being hypersensitive. No reparations, and there's no amount of reparations that can erase the pain and suffering that our ancestors went through. So it's not a hypersensitivity. Right, Alan. It is time for people to stand up no matter what color, race, or creed. I agree with that. 100%. This is all right. Gotta plug this up. It is time for people to stand up. Why go silent? And if you go silent on this issue, as other nationality other than Black, that lets me know where you stand. People want to be on here posting foolishness all day and talk about gossip. I don't have time for it. There's too many real issues going on in the world for me to be focusing on some foolishness. So it is time for people to take a stand. And for some Black people, they feel like we're not standing up for any other group of people because nobody stands up for us. So what if they strip people from their homes and send them back across the border? So what? So what? They weren't standing up for us. They ain't out there working for us. But it's inhumane. It's inhumane. It's inhumane. Why would you want somebody to suffer and go through what our ancestors went through and have families torn and stripped apart and create psychological man-made dysfunction within another group of people? Why? Why would you want that? For what reason? Because they did our ancestors like that? It wasn't right then, and it doesn't make it right now. It would never be right. It's demonic, and it's wrong. Yeah, Alan, we can forgive. Fine and dandy. But in forgiving, they need to go back and acknowledge what they did and honor their word. Yeah, your word. Keep your word and acknowledge what you did to the full. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't hide it. Don't say it doesn't matter. See, because as a Black race, we can be the most forgiving people. Forgive, 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 forgive. Then they roll up and shoot your kids, shoot your family. Forgive, 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 forgive. But if you roll up and shoot their family, most of them not going to forgive you. They're going to come get you. and try to jump on you. Yeah, we can forgive. But in my forgiving, that don't mean I'm blind, and sure don't mean I won't fight. That's what I got to say about that. You don't get to take advantage, and don't ever take our kindness for weakness, because that's where you messed up. Oh, you're from Montgomery? Okay. Oh, Joy, no, I didn't see that article. Will Black Lives Don't Matter? No, I didn't see that article, but Black Lives do matter. And over here in the United States, I'm not surprised that someone would write an article like that, because, or title an article like that, is either to get somebody's attention and they're talking about Black issues in there, or it's either to really say that Black lives to them really doesn't matter, because we know our ancestors over here were slaves, and to them Black lives really did not matter. You're right, Alan, our day is coming, but it's going to come with a fight. We cannot lay down and grow silent. We have to be a voice for the voiceless, the voice of justice for our ancestors who are no longer here, and the ones who are here who can no longer talk or fight like they fought before. So I would like to admonish men who watch this, no matter what nationality you are, but especially Black men, when you watch this, stop disrespecting women and stop disrespecting especially the Black females from which you came. Your mother was a Black woman. Stop it. Especially the ones who call themselves woke and conscious. You are not woke nor conscious if you disrespect a female who looks like your mother. You're not woke or conscious. Not at all. Not at all. Calling them out their names, hitting on them, all that other stupid stuff. Stop that. Stop that. Where'd you get that from? Who taught you to hate yourself? Who taught you that? Who taught you that? Who taught you to hate what you came from? Who taught you that? Who taught you to hate a Black woman like that? Who taught you that? Where did that come from? Who taught you that? And who told you that was okay? Where did that really come from? And I don't want to be biased in my perspective. Black females, stop disrespecting Black men too. Stop it. It's not cool. Stop that. Stop that. That's not cool. That's not kosher. Stop that foolishness. Stop it. There's too much going on in the world. Now, having said that, I will drop the link again for those who were not here earlier. $50 code for you to test drive a Hyundai. $50 code. One per household, must be 18 years or older. I will drop the link again. You register, they will send you a coupon code, a time frame for you to go out there, do a test driving. Then you get your $50 gift card. However they do it, it is being backed by a real bank and supplied by a real bank. So there it is. I'm going to drop it again because it's in the title. So for the people who see it in the title, you're going to have to stream ahead in this live and get the link. When I edit this, I'm just editing a little icon to put up here, but I will not put this in the description. You'll have to stream through here and get this. You're going to have to work for this tonight. I'm not going to make this one right here easy for you. Fly, it does start in a home. Not only does it start in a home, but society got to own their part too. Because some of these things you don't see in a home, you see out there in school, you see out there in public. Some of this stuff didn't come from the home. This stuff came from being psychologically brainwashed during slavery, society, norms being allowed, which are demonic, some of them. And then some did come from the home. But where did that ideology come from? The disrespectful ideology. Where did it come from? Because our ancestors, the ones that were fighting to get free from slavery, were very respectful and supportive of one another. As a people, they had to be to get free. The ones who were fighting to get free. I'm not talking about what was considered the house Negroes who said, well, master is sure enough treating us good, sure enough treat us right. We don't get treated like what was called or deemed as the field Negroes, who was doing all the work outside the house, who didn't get to live in the house, eat in the house, or anything else, got scraps. So where did this come from? This crab mentality. Because when our ancestors were fighting to get free, they didn't have the chance or opportunity to sit up and have a crab mentality. It was too busy running from the slave masters. And they had to be in sync, extremely synchronized to the T in order to get away from the plantations. And unified. So where did all this foolishness come from? Right. Some people go around judging themselves by others' strength versus their own weaknesses. As a people, we need to understand that when you know your place, you don't ever have to compete. It's not about a competition as a people. It's about divine order and purpose. And as a person, everybody was created for a purpose and a reason and created fearfully and wonderfully the way that they are for a reason. Born of the parents that you were born of for a reason, for a time such as this. And everybody's gifts and talents are needed and necessary in the earth. The grave is full of talents and gifts that never came to fruition. No one can do what a person was naturally created or born to do. When that person dies, those gifts die. Those gifts die if they don't release them out to the earth. All that stuff goes to the grave. So it's not about competing. When you know your place and know who you are, you don't have to compete. The competition is you. You compete against your own self and compete against the things that you were created to do, not anyone else. Wow, Fly, just spitting on the clerk. And I want to say this too, because what I've seen in America is as time is going on, Black males, who are the highest group of people being killed in America, homicide is higher in America for Black men. There is no other group that get killed more than Black males in America, homicide-wise. Homicide. Black kids in America are committing suicide more than any group in America right now. Black men are being killed more than any other group in America right now. And what I see happening is a generation. When you see these young teenagers or these young guys shooting back at cops, and I've seen it in my state, and they had that mentality, I'm gonna die a martyr. If you're gonna take me down, I'm not going down without a fight. That was birthed in America because of the things that have happened over here repetitiously in America that never got addressed. And as a nation, America has not learned a single thing that they should have learned to the degree that they should have learned it, because when you do not learn from history, it repeats itself. And that's why we see a lot of repetitive things happening over here in this nation with people. Right. Competition divides us. The only person you need to compete with is your purpose and the thing you were created to do. In that regards. So that's what I had to say tonight. And I didn't do a full complete live on Sunday. Like I said, I was across the border in Canada, and I have something to say about that too. How many times have I been to Canada this year? Okay. I've been to Canada a total of 3 times this year across the border. And I have to say, crossing the border over into Canada has been a breeze. Okay. Have a passport, no problem. Coming back into the States, dealing with the United States Custom has not been so easy with the passport. And I understand them asking, well, you know, what were you in Canada for? Da-da-da. Some of these questions to me don't even need to be asked. You got the scope monitoring what's on the inside of the vehicle. The thermal warmers, technology. You can see what's in the vehicle, basically. Don't continue to sit up there and ask me question after question after question. You see my passport. I'm not bringing anything that's taxable back. If I am, I will let you know. Let me through. It's been a little tight getting back in, depending on who you're going through. So just be aware of that. Next month, I'll be in California for about 10 days, minus 4 of those days. I will be on my cruise to Mexico. For people who have been greatly concerned about me going to Mexico, my Mexico cruise is already paid for. I'm going regardless. I'm going. I do have insurance. I have life insurance, and I have traveler's insurance on my child and I. I always get additional traveler's insurance whenever I take a cruise. I always do that. I have no fear or reservations about going over to Mexico and anything happening to me. I have no reservations or fear about going over to Mexico and them doing anything to me. You can lose your life here in America. We see it every day, all day, for Black people in America. So I have no reservations about going over there at all. I will be enjoying myself, and I will be touring some of the historic landmarks that they have there. So I have absolutely nothing to do with what this current administration is doing against people. That's demonic and wrong. I have nothing to do with it. I did not vote for him. I don't support or stand by anything demonic that he's doing or his decisions. None of them. So I also have no fear. So Fly, you said you was told it was wrong. Right, Fly. I agree with you. You too, Alan. But this is okay. You said, have I looked into that in great detail? No, I haven't, Fly, but I will. Also, this is what I want to say. Who has a passport? Who have passports? If you have a passport and you're in the chat, type a P. Type a PP for passport. I put my PP in for I have a passport. So lately, I have been on other content creators or YouTubers channels. Okay, basically the ones who are migrating from the U.S., who were born and raised Black American citizens, who are migrating over to the continent of Africa. And I believe it would be advantageous that in your lifetime, before you leave this earth, that you go visit the continent of Africa. I don't know if the deadline is over for the one guy who holds trips over there. Is females who are holding, you have your airborne B&Bs, Airbuses, and they are working to get you over there to tour just the continent of Africa, learn historical sites, since we're talking about Black Americans really understanding and knowing their history. Fly. It would really be advantageous if you make sure that you get a passport and that you begin to venture out to other countries to really understand and comprehend the lay of the land and their history, not from a westernized perspective, but from their perspective, the way that they view it, the way that it actually is there, not as the way it's told in America, because it may not be right. We already know that. Lies get told over here all the time. Treaties were broken. We understand that. So I just believe as people, as Americans, no matter what nationality you are, you need to travel the world to get a perspective on some things. Also to learn history. Not to learn history so it can depress you or make you just want to come back and shoot up a bunch. Well, we don't do that no way. Some other people do that. Okay. I said what I said. Just to get a perspective, but it would be very advantageous for youth, Black youth in America, to go over and to visit the continent of Africa in the different cities that they have within the continent of Africa. And the continent of Africa is big, it's huge. for them to visit different regions of Africa, the different regions of Africa, to see how the different tribes in Africa live and how they operate, and to learn where or what part of the continent that the ancestors came from, and to learn some history, and to see, and I don't have my money down here, I do have Nigerian money, and to see Black excellence on display, and to see a lot of Black people, an abundance of Black people, and to see an abundance of Black people running a continent, running their cities in excellence. Not saying that they don't have their issues and underhandedness going on over there. We know it's in pockets all over the world. However, it does not negate the fact that that would be an excellent trip for Black Americans, teens, young adults, or even some old people to go on to experience. It really would be an advantageous trip to learn about history and to really learn about your ancestors. So, hey, Sugar, Queen Sugar, how are you? So that would be a advantageous trip to go on. Now, going back to the point that I was saying, there are a host of Black Americans who are relocating and leaving America and going to reside in the continent of Africa. Some are in Ghana, some are in Nigeria, some are in Kenya. And so this one particular gentleman, he's been doing it for a while. He does trips every year, and the next trip he's going to do to Africa, and it should be the Nigerian over there somewhere in Nigeria, will be in November. So I will get with him and see if the deadline is still open for anyone who's interested and want to go. For those who have their passports, November is coming up kind of fast. You need to make sure, for those who believe in immunizations, you need to make sure you have all of your immunizations. I believe in them. Some people don't. That's on them. I'm gonna get mine. At sensitive skin, so sensitive. So I get immunized. I get my immunization. So I'm gonna see if it's still open and see what the requirements are, and maybe see if I can get them on before YouTube ends. Inviting people on your panel. Remember, Google Hangouts on air is going away. So they're taking that away. But I'm going to see what's going on, if it's still open. And a lot of times when they do trips like that, they usually have people working with them so you can get your passport quicker, so you can get everything. And the cost of the trip, which includes your airfare and your lounging while you are over in the continent of Africa, where they're going, is a total of $2,000. Okay. $2,000 to go to Africa is pretty good. That's a good price. Okay. $2,000, that's good. That's good to go to the continent of Africa. And for the length of days, I know it's longer than a week, to be there. To he has things already preset, places preset to visit, for you to talk to different elders in that region. That's a good price. That's just a price. Okay. So I will talk to him. I'll try to contact him and see if that's still open for people who are interested. And for people who miss it, it's other. Now, he just happened to be males. It's females who are also having trips that are American set up for people to come and visit the continent of Africa. We'll do a walkthrough and a talk through of the different immunizations you need to get and different things like that. And maybe I can try to get I can't make a promise on this. I do have cousins that work for the Center of Disease Control for the U.S. government, but they be in and out of the country, traveling and flying all over. It would be great if I can get with one of them just to see what some of the immunizations are to date that's needed before you go over there to the continent. But usually the people that's over there frequently and that travel back and forth from the States and that are planning on migrating over there permanently can kind of walk you through and talk you through those things. So it would be advantageous for everyone. If you don't have your passport, get your passports. Make sure that when you're acquiring your passport, if you do not have one, that you have a valid Social Security card and an authentic birth certificate. And an authentic birth certificate has the raised seal on it. Has a raised seal on it. So make sure that you have those things as well as your parents' information. And your parents' information should be on your birth certificate, such as their Social Security number, what their name was when you were born, because you have to fill all that out for your passport. So it would be advantageous if you plan on doing any type of trip to the continent of Africa to start working on that, start getting your immunizations a couple of months at a time. I don't recommend that anybody go in all at once and get all them shots at one time. That's too much for me. You just need certain immunizations. If you start in advance, like, okay, this month I'll go and I'll get these, and the next few months I'll go and I'll get these, that would be very advantageous for Black American teens over here learning their history and where their ancestors came from and feeling more confident about themselves and feeling like they belong if they would go and visit and learn history from where the ancestors actually originated from and to see Black excellence. Oh, Queen Sugar, you didn't have to get your immunizations? Okay, so some people don't get them, Queen Sugar. I have to say that some people have no immunizations. They're anti-getting immunizations, but yes, they do. They have certain ones that if you don't have them, you have to get it would be advantageous for you to get before you cross into the continent of Africa. Like if it's yellow fever, all these different type of fever and things come up. Yeah, one lady who's there ended up contacting malaria, and she did a post today and yesterday on. She went to the doctor over there and came back with results. That's what she had, but like she said, she doesn't believe in getting immunizations, so she said she would just tough it out and do whatever. But for those of us who like to get immunizations, like myself, I'm gonna get them just to know. Yes, yellow fever. Yes, fly, yellow fever. Yeah, different types of things going on over there. They have different types of flies and bugs over there. They have stuff over there that we don't have. They have animals and things over there and insects over there that we don't have over here. So, yes. Yes. Okay. Queen Sugar, the part of Africa that I'm talking about is Nigeria. The guy that's doing this trip is specifically visiting Nigeria. He has a group going November this year. Oh, you were blessed. A lot of people usually are. But remember, they have pure, good quality soil and dirt over there too. So fruits and vegetables good. A lot of spices and herbs that we never heard of over here, that we do not have over here. So remember, they can probably you can probably eat something over there for a few days, and stuff just work its way right on about your system, because the soil over there is still good. It's not polluted like this soil is over here, because we overworked our soil over here, and we have all these automobiles and toxins and pollutants and chemicals that we man-made stuff that's in our ground over here. So yeah, Queen Sugar is he's doing his in November. Okay. Yep. He's doing his in November. And like I say, I will contact him and see if it's still open for people to go. Also, I will see if I can get someone over here, because a lot of Black Americans are going over there and acquiring land too. Okay. I know in Ghana, for the females who are in Ghana, they're talking about how easy it is to get over there to Ghana, because the president in Ghana did open it up and make it easy for Americans, Black Americans and Americans, period, to come on over there and to visit Ghana. Okay. However, she's not the one that I watch is not doing she has everything laid out, but she's not doing a big group to fly over there. However, I do believe she would be open to that. That's where she will be headed in the near future. And I trust her. And she's very open and honest. And I trust the other guy that I'm recommending to. He's open and honest. I'm not going to steer you all to people who I don't think have integrity. Okay, Queen Sugar. Yeah. Okay. Now, like I said, I will post this information. I'm going to try to contact him, and hopefully he'll get back with me before the next live on Sunday, and I can have some updated information for you, Queen Sugar. Also, next year, I know I plan on going with my daughter and I, and we should be in the Nigerian part, because her godparents are both Nigerian, and they're in Lagos. So I'm assuming that's where we may be. I just know we'll probably be in Nigeria. Maybe Nigeria, maybe Kenya, wherever they're at. So, but that's not like a big group discounted or anything. That's just her and I, maybe my siblings, and maybe my mom, and I'm sure my nephew, because he likes to go to Africa with his wife frequently. So I'm sure, some family members probably jump in on that, but I'll keep you guys updated on that next year as well too. Oh, Lagos is beautiful. But I know for a fact that this guy, he's been doing these trips for years, and in November he's taking another group. So I already planned out the price is $2,000. They're going. So for people who are passport ready, if he still has it open, still has room for you, I will reach out to him and see. For those of you who are interested in going in the future, I will contact him and ask him if it's okay if I give you his information so you can touch bases with him directly. I just think it would be advantageous for a group of Black American kids. I know we visit China, Japan, and all these other places. I just think it would be advantageous for a Black group of American teenagers and young adults who've never been to the continent of Africa to go and learn about where their ancestors came from, for real, from the perspective of Africa, and not with a per se westernized twist on it. So they can just go and get it straight from the motherland. Okay. Okay, yeah, fly. I'm not going this year either because, like I said, I'm going to Mexico this year, and towards the end of the year, maybe my daughter said she either wanted to go to Bora Bora or Jamaica, and for her Sweet 16, and I told her Bora Bora was out unless she was going to produce some Bora Bora funds. I was not doing that, or else somebody wanted to pay for that. I was trying to get my childhood friend Andre to hook me up on that, but he just believe you don't spend that type of money on teens for that type of trip. And I'm like, whatever, you either gonna hook us up or you're not. Or Jamaica. Those were the two. So I said, okay, Jamaica, really inexpensive trip to take. No, I can do that. Inexpensive cruise. So I knew I would not be doing Africa this year, but next year I will. Right, Alan. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Like I said, I will get that information to you by Sunday. If he contacts me, if he does not contact me, and I believe he will, I will ask him if it's okay that I pass on his information to the people who are interested in jumping in on that African trip that will take place in November over to Nigeria, over in Nigeria. And a host of things that he has lined up there with his itinerary that's already set. So, if you have teens who need passports, I would recommend and admonish that you get them. A teen passport is much less than an adult passport. If they are a certain age, if they need a passport renewal, it's going to be less. As you who have passports know, passports are good for 10 years. Once you do get a passport, it's good for up to 10 years before you renew. So I would just like to admonish you all to start budgeting. For those of us who do budget in and get your children's passport. If you have to do it one at a time, whatever. However, you have to do budget in for that, budget in for your trips. So traveling is doable. Traveling is doable. I'll say that. Leaving the US and traveling to other nations is doable. Traveling anywhere is doable. It's about budgeting, having a plan of action, budgeting, sticking to that plan, and staying true to the course. And you can do it. So. Oh, thank you, Alan. Oh, you had to cancel your Jamaican trip? Okay. I know Jamaica weather get crazy sometimes. But my daughter said she either wanted a sweet 16 birthday party or she wanted to go to Jamaica. And for me, I know I do event and planning decor. I've been doing that for over 25 plus years. And she wanted a certain theme, and I know I would lay this theme down. However, I know financially wise, it would be cheaper for me to take her on that cruise to Jamaica than it would be for me to do a full-fledged Sweet 16 birthday party for her the way that I would have to do it and the way that it would be done. So the least expensive route would be us going on a cruise to Jamaica. And that's what I think I'm gonna end up doing. And I told her she can get one of her best friends and I talk to their parents, they could come, and it still would be much cheaper than Sweet 16 with all them people per plate, per food, and the amount of money I would have to spend on fresh flowers and The decor I decorate anyway, so that, you know, tablecloths and stuff. That's, you know, that wouldn't be the weight of the money. It would be the food, the hall, and the floor. Oh, Montego Bay in July, next July. Her birthday is this year, so for my daughter, I know I'm gonna have to produce this year for her uh, when it comes to her Sweet 16. So, like I said, Jamaica is something that's just, you know, and then it doesn't really cost that much. I know I can get that for yes, Queen Sugar. Thank you for stopping by too. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go back into the music, and we gonna end this very informative live tonight. I did some roaring at the beginning. Number 45 has been completely disrespectful. It's not tolerated. It's just, it should not be tolerated by anybody, especially Black Americans. Also, I just want to admonish the men. Black men, stop disrespecting Black women. Black females, stop disrespecting Black men. Other nationalities, stop disrespecting us. We will snap out most of the times. What people call snap, I'm not even gonna say snap out. We will address the issue. We will address you. And people just practice some sensitivity towards one another. You wouldn't want nobody to do you like that. You wouldn't want nobody to do your ancestors like that. You wouldn't want nobody to saying all that stupid stuff to your face. So don't do it to nobody. You don't want it done to you. That's what I have to say on that. Keep Eric Garner family in your prayers. Keep Sandra Brand family in your prayers. Put pen to paper. Make sure you are writing your legislators on the federal level. Make sure you are writing legislators on a local level who are handling these cases and should be held accountable for cases like Philando, Sandra Bland, Eric, Stephen. The list just goes on and on and on. Make sure you keep these people in mind who lost their lives, who still should be living at the hands of police or at the hands of anybody. J4K is coming up again in September. For those of you who can press your way out to Illinois, make sure you press your way out. I'll start posting more information on that, or talking about more information on that next month. In August, I'll start talking about that more once I contact the people who are get in touch with people who would know what's going on the ground. And we'll, you know, come out to that. That's right, J4K. Oh, thank you, Alan. Yes, I'm in my caftan and all. Yes, yes, yes. Almost came up here with my Nigerian hat on tonight. Thank you, Alan. Oh, 15,000 5 days. Oh, 1,500 5 days. Okay. Okay, Queen Sugar. Oh, yeah, Queen Sugar rewatch. But for those who are just stopping in the stream, I'm going to drop this link again for you to test drive a Hyundai and get your $50. I'll drop it again in your area. Hopefully, in the area that you're in, they are not all taken up. I did do mine earlier, so I have my coupon code and I got my expiration date on when it expires for me to come and test drive a vehicle to get my little $50 gift card. Yeah, J4K. Justice for Black Americans and justice for Americans. And that includes Hispanics, Asians, Africans, who they're trying to keep out of the U.S. right now. If you're really paying attention to what's going on with them, justice for people. That's right. Oh. Thank you all for streaming. With that being said, you are. Wait a minute. Let me give y'all a little bit more music before I say good night. Hold on. I gotta go back into this real quick. Just a little bit. Let me go back into this. Do I still have it up? Yeah. Okay, let me go back into this a little bit. Give y'all a little bit more of this. Before we get off, the revolution will not be televised. It will be live.
Predict on the rare earth, the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
So that's what I'm ending on tonight. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live. Okay. With that being said, thank you for streaming, everybody. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Don't forget to share that code with people. Hopefully they get in before the code expires. But it was still good when I did it earlier. That's why I tried to come on as quickly as I could when I saw the person that posted it. And they usually be like right on stuff. And I said, let me get it and run this out to the people. One per household. Let's drive a Hyundai. Participate locations. $50 gift card for your test driving. Okay. That being said, you all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. I look forward to chatting with everybody on Sunday, bringing you more update information about those trips to the continent of Africa, as well as a host of other things. You all have a pleasant evening. Thanks for streaming. Thank you, Queen Sugar, for stopping by. And Festi Taco, I haven't seen you in a while. Sometimes I know you be in the bushes. And Fly, as always. You got yours, Fly. Good. Good. Miss Letha got hers earlier. Okay, good. All right. With that being said, you all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Bye, everybody.